On the broadcast today, Michael C. Anthony hypnotizes some of our students.
We uncover how some parents keep track of their children.
And students aid the community in the annual blood drive.
All these stories and more because Wildcat News starts now.
Good morning, West Johnston. I'm Jowann Holder.
And I'm Jamie Snover with this week's episode of Wildcat News.
On November 21st, the band department hosts their first hypnotist show. Summer Lanier tells us more.
The Attic show is for the West Johnston band department. I enjoyed being on stage and being hypnotized because I didn't think it would actually work, but it really did work. Well, there were some parts where it was just one person did things, and I understood those parts, but when it was a whole group, I didn't understand it. He would say certain things, and I guess we did things. I don't really know, that's what you told me. I guess I was a seatbelt at one point, and there was a part where this boy danced with a broom, and he thought it was a girl, and I don't know how that works, but it did. I don't remember anything I did, but I remember things that people did that I wasn't included in. If one person was called out, I don't remember those things, but if anything other than that, I don't remember it at all.
Michael C. Anthony talks about how he started his job.
I got into hypnosis because my uncle was a stage hypnotist as well, so that's how I got fascinated with it all. And he was also a magician, that's how I got into that kind of thing, and it just started as a hobby until I got into the hypnosis aspect of it, was doing that as a hobby, and then it just slowly turned into a full-time job, which I've been doing almost 20 years. My favorite thing, once the introduction takes place, anything can happen. I like the aspect of the show, even though I might be doing some of the same material, you never get the same volunteer twice. For example, I had the guy howling at the moon tonight. He was hilarious, but I could do that tomorrow night and it would be hilarious in an entirely different way. So one of the fun things about it all is you just never know what you're going to get. Whole new ball game every time. My show can consist of many different segments of hypnosis. Like tonight, I took people on a vacation to Bahamas where they're hot, they're cold. Sometimes I make them feel like they've got insects all over their bodies, or sometimes I'll turn people into Mr. Universe contestants, or tonight I made a guy dance with a broom. I can deliver amnesia in many different ways. Like I did tonight with amnesia as well, I cause them to temporarily forget what happened during the show. As soon as they get to the bottom step and boom, the crowd gets that moment of revelation in the eyes of all the volunteers when they suddenly remember, oh no, I did that. And so, it consists of fun in any way that I can create fun.
Was that even real?
I don't know, but to find out more, go to wildcatscratchpost.com.
Some parents are a little more protective than others. Tracy Lanier explains his reasons for keeping track of his children.
We don't track them, but we have the ability through the locator system on their cell phone to be able to find out where they are. Tracking could violate someone's privacy if you were using it to track their every move through the day.
Caitlin Lanier tells us how it feels to be tracked.
I think my parents track my location just to know where I am, as a safety precaution, because having my full license, I drive alone all the time. And if I were to get in a car accident, they could just use the thing and find me. My sister goes to Appalachian State University, and she isn't a morning person. She drives a lot at night, and she drives to and from school. And so my parents got the thing so that it's safe. The negatives are I can't be a hoodlum because they know where I am. They could easily, I could say that I'm hanging out with a friend and actually be somewhere else and they'd know. There's some sort of devicey thing on my phone and I'll get random text messages occasionally just saying you can be located by this number and it'll say my phone number. But other than that, there's no difference in my phone.
I'd rather give blood than have my parents track me.
Well, speaking of this, some students gave blood at the recent blood drive. Marissa Greene gives us an inside look.
On November 17th, the first blood drive of the year was held.
It is for the Red Cross. The Red Cross is where people take blood and they give it to people who need it. Around 60 to 70 people donated at the blood drive. I was a runner, so I went and got people from their classes and took them to the small gym. There are 2 blood drives at West. There was already this one in the fall, and then we'll have another one in February.
Brandon Olson and Taylor Kelly share their blood-giving experiences.
Yes, this was my first time giving blood. I opted to give doubles. To give doubles, it means the amount normal people would give, you're just doubling that up and giving it, and they're rejecting plasma back into you so that you don't feel as much side effects.
It was my first time giving blood. I gave the regular amount.
Olson and Kelly tell if they had any complications, if they plan to give blood again, and what they enjoyed most about donating.
No, I was good this time. I plan on giving it later this year, the second drive. I'd say I'd like getting out of class, but knowing the fact that someone needed that blood and I got to help them was a good portion of it.
The only complication I had was that I got dizzy after. I enjoyed that I can help save someone's life. I plan on giving blood again at the spring blood drive.
I'm Marissa Greene, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Marissa.
I would totally give blood if it was for Edward.
No way. Team Jacob all the way.
We'll be right back after our commercial break.
Tired of boring big box pizza chains? Big Al has you covered with handmade pizza, wings, and garlic nubs.
I make a pizza with fresh quality ingredients right as soon as you order it.
Located at 4042 behind Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. Big Al's Pizza and Wings, handmade for you.
Jowann, it's so hot in here. Can we turn on a fan or something?
No, it's just me. Jarrett Spann informs us on the wild winter weather.
The weather up north is pretty crazy right now, and it's affecting us too. Global warming is now becoming evident here and around the U.S., and recent weeks in places like upstate New York have received over 75 inches of snow, and Buffalo is practically buried under 6 feet of snow. There are dangers of this massive amount of snow, however. Already there are at least 10 deaths and over 100 stranded vehicles. But that is not all. The state of New York issued a state of emergency and called in the help of the National Guard due to the heavy flooding. North Carolinians can only imagine how much snow we will get this winter and when. We asked Paige Wilcox from northern New York where she's from, what the weather is like in her home city in previous years, and if she misses the weather up north.
I'm from Albany, New York. In the wintertime in Albany, it usually gets like 20 degrees and sometimes it'll hit single digits. The coldest it's ever gotten would be probably -7, I think. I think the most snow we've ever gotten was like 2 feet maybe. Yeah, I miss the weather in Albany a lot because I love the winter, not really the summer.
Wilcox talks about the weather here and compares it to Albany and also gives us tips on how to stay warm this winter.
I think North Carolina will get snow maybe around like January or February. The main difference between here and Albany in the winter is that it gets a lot colder, a lot quicker, and they get snow in like November sometimes, not here. Some tips to stay warm this winter would be bundle up and wear a lot of fuzzy socks.
I'm Jarrett Spann, Wildcat News.
Wrestling season has finally started. Katherine Serrell meets up with some of the wrestlers.
Joseph Sewell gives us an inside look to the start of the wrestling season.
Our first match was against Triple S and we won just barely. I'm very hopeful that we will win all of our conference matches and for most of our lineup to make it to regionals. The wrestling is very hard. It's not for everybody. The ones who do it are tough mentally because they can handle the physical pain. Some of the strengths of our team is, for one, conditioning, because we come in here and we work hard and it shows on the mat. Even though we don't do really well, we don't tire out as quickly as the other guy.
We have a lot of good wrestlers and we know a lot of moves, so we do a lot better than a lot of the other teams.
Weaknesses now are technique, and that's because we have a bunch of fresh starters.
We don't have a full roster, so the other team automatically gets free points.
We plan to overcome that by just getting experience, because that's all you can do. Come out and support the wrestling team, because we have so many parental support, and it'd be great if more people could do that.
If you'd come out to one of our wrestling matches, you'd see that it's a great sport and you might enjoy it.
I'm Katherine Serrell, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Katherine.
Well, that's all for us this week. If you have any questions, comments, or story ideas, please email us at wjstudentmedia@gmail.com.
If you want to watch Wildcat News at home, on the go, or even catch up on past episodes, go to wildcatscratchpost.com/wildcatnews.
And finally, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WJ Student Media. I'm Jowann Holder.
And I'm Jamie Snover. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic day.